landscape. For your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emmanuel Rose.
Welcome to another edition of Marketing in the Age of AI. I've got a great guest today. I'm really excited to talk with Gregory, and we have a chance to talk about not just AI and the cutting edge and the way things are moving ahead, but also he's kind of an old head, and so he understands the fundamentals. And we'll have a chance to bounce back and forth between what is good marketing today compared to what good marketing was years ago, and how the fundamentals stay unchanged, but the wrapping paper is a little flashier. So, Brian, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Emmanuel. I'm excited to be here. Let's rock this thing and really reveal some knowledge under those rocks.
So your background is in advertising, what we call traditional advertising, isn't it?
Yeah, I had publications and a small agency for about 20 years, if you add it all up, and magazines, newspapers, traditional Main Street USA style advertising, selling it to every kind of business you can imagine, thousands of businesses, and then eventually becoming a small agency to help businesses in my area to create those kind of messages more effectively, which is a huge problem facing small businesses today. And so that's the quick version of the last 20 years of my life.
Yeah, I got you. And so what are some of the fundamentals that you've kind of carried over from the newspaper days into what we're seeing today in 2024?
Well, I always tell people that tech changes. Tech changed since you just introduced me, right? It's already changed. We can't stop it. It's running ahead of us at a million miles an hour, and we're just trying to just hang on to something, right?
For sure.
But humans haven't changed in 10,000 years. And that brings up a really interesting thought. If I'm selling to humans, wouldn't it be smarter to study how humans respond than maybe trying to master all of this tech that is just evidently, it's just endless what we have to deal with? It's supposed to make your life easier, right? All this tech is supposed to make it easier. So far, it hasn't happened for me. I don't know about you. It's more to manage, more to learn, more to remember, more to explain. And what I think is probably a lost art is realizing that humans are really just emotional beings. And if you want them to buy something, or if you want them to move to the left or click the button or whatever it is you're hoping to get them to do in your business, there will be a human reason why they do it. It'll be a human emotion. And you can target them all day, and we can analyze data, and we can figure out where they live and what they eat and what they might want tomorrow. But if you don't have an emotional message for them when you get up to bat, when they finally see you or your ad or your video or whatever it is you're communicating with, you'd be very wise to know what motivates humans to say yes. And that's what our whole company is based on. And that is what I would tell you is one of the lost arts that we're trying to make sure becomes one of the fine arts of marketing.
It's beautiful. I couldn't agree with you more. And the human to human connection is the most critical part of this, and it has not changed, right, since the food stall days of being in the agrarian times all the way to now. I think the one thing that has changed is that the tools that we have sometimes make it really difficult to bring the humanity back into it. And we see so much bad marketing right now, right? The spray and pray style marketing, because people have these tools and they don't know how to use them.
Yeah, tools are wonderful, but it's a little like bringing the caveman into Home Depot. What's this poor guy going to do with all these tools? We have the same emotional toolbox as Caesar, Mozart, Da Vinci, Socrates, Shakespeare, people like that. We remember their brands to this day because they mastered them. They mastered the emotions of the people around them. Thus, they became great. And as close to anything we could call a brand today, Caesar was a brand. I think you could safely say that.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't understand branding, but they understood how to stand out and how to use emotions to their advantage. And as early as those, thousands of years ago. So you can still learn to use them to your advantage. And that's what we're going to uncover some of those little secrets today and show people really we haven't changed that much. So that's the good news. There's something staying the same. At least one thing you can hug in this river of tech that's flowing fast. You can grab onto the rock of humanity, which is emotions, and it's never going to change.
Yeah, so then I agree with that, and I think that is critical for us as marketers. How are you seeing that the AI is able to support and help us as marketers bring those emotional messages to our prospects?
It's a great question because AI can't be emotional. And so by its very nature, it doesn't truly understand, at least I don't think it can truly understand emotions. It can recite what other people have said about emotions, and it can paint a pretty good picture. But that picture is not going to be a Rembrandt, is it? And it's smart. It knows everything. It's great for tasks. Analyze this. Give me all the keywords for this. Type me something up about the Statue of Liberty. Boom, there it is. Amazing, to be able to just call something like that into existence. But if you're trying to sell product, I think AI will have to eventually be emotionally inclined. Mm-hmm. It will need to monetize itself to exist. I mean, you can't research things forever. Sooner or later, you got to come out with products to sell.
Right.
Yeah. Someday we got to sell a tube of toothpaste with this AI. Now, if we can start selling some products, because AI understands the human emotional genome, now you got something there that's probably very interesting to a venture capitalist. Well, we're not quite there, are we? But we're getting there. Now, we've created an emotional algorithm. As far as we know, it's the only one in the world. And that algorithm, if you will, is possibly one of the pieces AI will need to truly understand us in a human way, instead of just regurgitating all of the data that's thrown into the internet and trying to make some sense out of it, which it does. I'm not down on AI. I'm just saying that it's not quite human enough yet to be human in so many ways. And one of those ways is in persuasion, marketing, advertising, copywriting, all that stuff we call sales. All those things wrapped into that bundle. It still takes an emotion to make someone buy every single time.
I think that's good news, though, right? Because that emotion and the human connection is what we can bring to that otherwise single dimension piece of work, right? So we as marketers still have to interact with the output of the software that we have, even as dynamic as it is in real time as it is. We still have to have and add that little bit of spark to make it seductive.
Yeah, you don't need AI because you were born with the gift of 1,000 lifetimes. You were born with this toolbox of emotionality. Animals don't really have anything close to it. Machines don't. As far as we know, we're the only living beings in the universe with emotions, as far as we know. And so you can use this toolbox you were given. It's just unbelievable what you can do with it. You can persuade, and you can market, and you can get along with others. And there's so many things that, that are emotional. In fact, most things we do during the day, believe it or not, are emotionally driven.
Right.
You get up, you go to, you brush your teeth. Well, you don't want your breath to stink. So that's an emotionally driven thing to do. The fear of having bad breath makes you brush your teeth if nothing else does. And so every little task that we do to get something done quicker, better, smarter, or with less effort. And it's all emotional and motivated. And once you learn that humans are emotional when they're put into action, you can learn how to put people into action. Otherwise, we would have died off a long time ago in the cave. We never would have had enough emotion to stand up and walk outside the cave. We would have just died there.
Yeah,
right?
Just in a cold, huddled mass.
That would have been a quick movie.
Yeah. Well, the Yes suite of products are an impressive suite of products, and continually growing, which is what I really appreciate about your company, is that you guys are truly innovators, and every time we talk, there's another thing on the horizon. So why don't you break in and let's talk about the newest product that you put together, which is your chatbot.
Oh yeah, we just came out with we call him YesBot. So everything tends to be named Yes. We have Yes products running around loose without nets. And the latest one is YesBot, which you'll find at freeyestest.com, which is where you can take your Yes test. And I know we'll be talking about that. And we wanted this little bot to be next generation AI. We wanted, how chatbots are just sometimes so frustrating, right? It's almost like those push button systems where you push one for this, push two for that. You can't, you can never get to where you want to go. And you're talking to a chat bot that has about the same level of intuition most of the time. And people say, I don't like chatbots because, well, let's face it, they don't really chat. Ours chats. Ours talks to you as if it's known you for 30 years. Ours has a sense of humor. Ours makes jokes out of insult. You can insult our bot. He'll come back with he won't insult you back, but he'll come back with a funny response, because we want people to enjoy the test experience that's coming ahead for them. And we thought it'd be fun if our bot was fun. And so we kind of broke the mold. I haven't seen anything like him. And it's a lot of fun. And sometimes I just sit there and I talk to the bot and I ask it the craziest questions on earth just to see what he'll say. So yeah, we just added that to our lineup, and it's super cool.
And what have you seen as far as people interacting with it, and efficacy of it, and what are you seeing in terms of sort of results, right?
Yeah, well, we programmed it, first of all, if you have a legitimate question, like how long will the test be? He'll say something like, it's 5 minutes less time than it takes to get a Starbucks coffee or something like that, right?
Right.
I mean, he gets right to the point. He'll answer your questions if your questions are about the test. But if you want to know trivia about Gilligan's Island or something, and you want to just go off topic, well, that gives him permission to be a little more interesting, because he's not trying to talk about the test anymore.
Right.
But the interesting thing about the bot that you'll see is he's an unbelievable salesperson. At the end of every conversation, he says, "So, when are we going to try that yes test? You ready to go?" He brings it right back to center, because that's what we want. And in your company, you'd want a bot that would be able to delight the customer and then get right back to business. Let's get back to what I'm here for.
I love it.
And so it does work out pretty well. And if you need a bot like that, you can get in touch with us. We'll show you how to get one for yourself. And remarkably inexpensive, but it will make you money.
And in the construction of it, did you guys build your own GPT, or did you attach to one of the existing ones, or what's the little bit of the back end about it? Yeah.
I had given up on the bot because we knew people were landing on the test page. Well, we couldn't be quite sure, how many of them are even bots to begin with. You never really know.
Right.
And we weren't sure how many people might look at the test page and go, do I want to take a test? I don't know. Some people have a negative word test, right?
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make sure that the maximum number of people would fall into the test as possible. And so we had to make him fun, and we contracted with a company to create this. And it was interesting. They said, "You're the first company to ever ask for this," and they're an AI company, and because we're not really, we don't create AI. We're taking advantage of it,
right?
And but they said we were delighted to take this on as a task because most people just want the bot to do boring things. Yes, no, yes, sir, no, sir. Here's your answer, sir. And you said, no, I want a stand-up comic that can give you the answer and make you smile.
Yeah, I love it.
It's funny. It's different, and I recommend everybody who takes the yes test that they at least have a little quick chat with our bot before they do it. And they'll see. And you might find a way to use it in your own business. Of course, you don't have to call it a yes bot. You can call it anything you want.
Yeah, I love it. And so this is an adjunct or the salesman for the yes test to get business owners to understand their brand better. So tell us a little bit about the yes test.
Yeah, the yes test is as I mentioned earlier, it's based on the 15 emotions that have sold everything on planet Earth. And we have the algorithm that those 15 emotions are a big part of. What we did is we studied the last 100 years or so of advertising, but we only studied the winners, the biggest winners in advertising. So when you only study the winners, you don't have to look at nearly as many ads,
right?
Because most ads are not winners. And when you study the winners, here's what happens. You start to notice a pattern. You start to see a formula. You start to see the same things happening again and again for this brand, and now this brand, it worked again. And you start to see sort of something that is repeatable, almost as if it was formulaic, which a lot of creative people don't like that word because they want to feel that they are completely creative in their process. And I will tell you that you will be, but you will be. What we show you is the formula that you should be creative with, instead of just picking something randomly out of the air. We know what's worked for the last 100 years. We found there's 15 emotions, and that's it. That's what's in all the winners. So all you have to do is copy some of those formulas that have worked for similar brands to you. Whatever you do, there's similarities. And it came down to 15 emotions. So in other words, it's not just I'm a plumber. If you ask 100 plumbers if they're any different than the other guys in town, they'll say, oh yeah, I'm way different than those other guys. So even in something as simple as unclogging a drain, plumbers all think they're different.
Of course.
So when you take the test never asks you what you do for a living. It has no idea. It takes about 5 minutes. It's true, false answers, totally simple to do, but it's learning what you are emotionally to the client so they'll say yes to you. That's why we call it the yes test. Nice. It shows you why people will say yes to whatever it is you do. And as you're answering the statements, true or false, you're showing us in the algorithm which of those emotions apply to your brand. So it's the only test of its kind in the world. We're the only test that can emotionally analyze a brand, to my knowledge. So it's really cool.
I haven't heard anything else even remotely like it. Lots of things for individuals and for our psyches. Am I an ENF or whatever that is, but not for brands. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like a personality test, but not really. I know you've been through it. It takes 5 minutes to realize I've been doing this wrong for how many years? It's kind of, when you hear it explained so simply to you, you realize, wow, I was making this harder on myself than I ever needed to. We're smart people. We always tend to want to make something smarter.
Yeah.
It makes us feel good to do that, right? But it really should be made simpler and perhaps even dumber. Because to give you 3 examples, Skittles, can we really taste the rainbow? I don't think so. Is Red Bull give you wings?
Right.
I don't think so. And I think in a court of law, we could prove that Lucky Charms are not magically delicious. I think we could do it.
Yeah.
So, these things exist emotionally. They sell product. All the big brands sold emotionally. All the smallest, most unsuccessful companies in the world are selling logically,
right.
Using the conscious brain to analyze and pick at it until there's nothing left. That's what your conscious brain's job is to do. It's like your big brother. It makes sure things are safe, and it helps keep you from playing on the freeway and touching fire. But your subconscious mind is where the decisions are made, and that's where the credit card of your brain is stored. And that's the brain you want to be talking to. The yes test shows you how to speak emotionally to your customers so they buy.
Yeah, that is amazing. It is an amazing tool, and not only that, but then you get a nice email message every day, which is a little marketing inspiration on top of that.
Yeah, we surprise you after the test. I guess it won't be a surprise now.
Oh, I let the cat out of the bag.
That's okay. We actually have 100 emails. You get 2 a week. We call it the brand canon, and basically each email teaches you another little nugget of emotional marketing. Now, I didn't say marketing, emotional marketing. And that's why people, our open rate on our emails is 55% across all 100. It's because it's truly different. It's truly better information. It's not what you learned in school. I will guarantee you that. But it's something you should learn if you want to be successful. And each little nugget, it takes a couple minutes to read our emails. You've read them. We either show you some cool emotional tactic or something a brand did that was perfectly emotional and catapulted them into fame. And you can learn from watching the big brands, because I guarantee you, when they're spending $1 million per commercial, they're going to get closer to right than we are. We're down here in the trenches, just, winging it, just making stuff up. And not all the big agencies have been successful on far from it.
Right.
As I said, most ads are not. But when you get one that is, you have to look at it and go, okay, something magic just happened here. We didn't change the product at all, and all of a sudden everyone's buying it.
Yeah, we just told a better story.
Yeah, something just happened.
Yeah,
we better look long and hard at what's in this, what feelings this ad is creating, because therein lies, at least for that company, a secret. And a lot of companies never change their ads once they get a home run like that.
Right.
You still see the Marlboro Man. Now, that was formerly one of the worst selling cigarettes in the entire United States. They couldn't figure out why. It was just as good as anything else at the time, but they were not moving, and turned into the number 1 brand in the world as soon as they changed the ad. Now that's pretty amazing. And it doesn't matter that it's, I know we're all pretty much down on smoking these days, but you have to look at the turnaround of that. Yeah. 30 years of nothing.
Right.
To the number 1 brand in the world, and the ad is still working.
Yeah, because it taps into that iconic feeling of freedom in the Wild West, and everybody wants to be that cool cowboy on the hill, right?
Yeah, the admiration archetype is part of one of the 15 that we identified. That feeling of, I want, look at that guy. I want what he's got. He's got life handled, that guy. Look at him. He's the guy. He doesn't have a care in the world.
Yeah.
And he's in beautiful country, and their whole goal was to get you to switch, is come to Marlboro country. In other words, switch over to this when they knew everybody smoked something at the time. This is back in the 50s.
Yeah.
So, they didn't know everything about smoking that we know now. And they were just basically saying, try this one. You'll be more like the hero, the cowboy, the man's man, the guy who's got it handled. And the odd thing was women were attracted to that ad as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they started smoking Marlboros too, which nobody complained about at Philip Morris, I'm sure. So yeah, it's amazing how you see these pivot points, and you see where Geico changed, you see where Apple changed, you see where FedEx changed, you see where Nike changed, you see all of these companies that people who are in the marketplace now, especially if you're under the age of 30, a lot of people assume these companies were always successful.
Right.
They don't know that most of these companies were dangling in the bankruptcy category, just dangerously close to going under when they finally hit the formula, the ad, the message that changed their whole game forever. And if had they not found it, they probably would have gone under because they weren't resonating with the population. The emotions they were putting out weren't the emotions the people wanted to feel to buy the product. So that's all you have to have is the emotional state matching what the customer wants. You give somebody what they want. What do? They buy.
Right.
It's that simple. But figuring that out, it took us 7 years to design the algorithms for their 5-minute test that you'll take for free online at freeyestest.com. And it took us 7 years to figure out those algorithms, and a lot of money and a lot of time, and a lot of algorithms didn't make it. A lot of little dead algorithms along the way.
I'm sure
they perished in the trash can because they couldn't do what you experienced when you took your test.
And, the Yes Test is it's an amazing resource, and it does give it's an exhaustive review of the brand and how to use the correct tools and how to implement some changes and have better effect from it. So it is one of a kind marketing experience.
Thank you
for business owners. Yeah, I think it is truly remarkable and a very innovative solution.
And it's free.
Well, that's free, what else in the world is free, huh?
It's fast, free, fun, and easy. I mean, what else do you want? Again, if you give people what they want, they will say yes to you.
Yeah,
they have to. And so we knew that the test had to be free.
Well, I got to talk about one of your other products that I really love, because I think it is the SEO secret of this little bubble that we're in right now. It probably will continue to be, but I've seen that the way that you approach the press releases and the success that I've had with press releases is pretty phenomenal, to where I've got keywords now that are ranking above LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube. And it's only just after a few months. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the press releases.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Well, we talked to thousands of business people, and we're getting them to take the test, and we're showing them some of our other products. And one of the things that became obvious after a while was that they couldn't, in most cases, afford proper SEO, and they didn't like the waiting time that it takes to do it right. And the people doing SEO the right way will tell you it's not going to be cheap and it's not going to be overnight.
Right.
And they'll do a good job for you. But a lot of people couldn't afford that, and they were looking for tools. They just wanted to get out there. The post-COVID economy has put so many people in business and out of business that we're all looking for that magic wand. So how do you get on page 1 of Google without spending $10,000 a month? It's pretty tough to do. We came up with the press release, which is not new. I mean, I was in the magazine business. Press releases have been around since there was a newspaper to read, right?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know, hundreds of years. There's been ways to get your story in the paper, but guess what? the editor-in-chief now is Google.
Yeah.
And so if you really want your name to hit out there with a splash, or you want somebody to know you got something new going on, yeah, you should post it on social media. Of course, you should put it on your website. But if you want to make it available to the world, you got to get it on Google. And one of the best ways to do that is to syndicate a press release. And in essence, what that does is you create a 500 words about why you're great, what you've done, an achievement, and something notable, something newsy. Make a newsy announcement about something you've done. And we put that on over 450 news websites and radio, TV, newspapers, all kinds of different sites, every kind of site you can think of. And when somebody searches for, as you mentioned, those keywords, we make sure that those keywords are in the press release,
right,
in the right spots. It's all part of the coding. So that when Google goes hunting, somebody has searched for something and it searches, I don't know what it does. I don't think anybody can tell me what Google does when I type in a search word. God only knows what is happening, but I know it's trying to find the most relevant answer to this search, and it will find those news sites, and on it will find your press release that's been placed there. And in that press release are the keywords that it thinks it needs, and it will take that press release and put it in your page one Google search results, because it's news from a credible source. It's not your news, it's someone else saying it, because we know everything on your website is promotional, everything on your LinkedIn is promotional, everything on Alignable that you say is promotional, everything on Twitter and Facebook and everything else. But press releases are sanctified. They are truth. They are unadulterated announcements of truth, and Google considers that a pretty good thing to show. And we found that we were able to create a really fine press release, as you've experienced, and all of a sudden that press release is relevant, and even perhaps more relevant than some of the websites you're ranking so high on already.
For sure.
It's an amazing thing for a small business, and I guess the best thing about it, it's downright inexpensive, depending which plan you have with us. It runs the gamut of price, but the going rate for something like this is $500 to $1,000 each time out there in the big bad world, and we're able to do it for fraction of that, and truly just give you the ability to do this again and again and again and again and again, and all of a sudden you're all over the press, the search results.
Oh, that's for sure. And every time I send one in, I'm afraid you're going to tell me I used up my allotment. I can't send any more press releases about myself in. So,
well, you're a smart guy. You're not only using it to promote your own business, but you're helping your clients promote theirs, and you're offering the same tool to them as so that you can make some margin off of us in some way. And a lot of people are doing that because by pricing it as low as we have, we've opened up that door to enable that. And we want that. We want you to do great with our products, so that you'll always want our products. Right. It makes sense. And we don't make a lot of money off you. Right. You know that.
Yeah.
But we're going to see each other for a long time. And who knows what product you might be interested in next.
Absolutely. Well, good. We're coming up to the end of our time. I'm just wondering what's kind of on the near-term horizon for you guys, and what can we expect in terms of helping marketing professionals get the word out?
Well, our goal is to give away 1 million yes tests. So everybody write this down: freeyestest.com. You can go there right now, and in 5 minutes, you're going to get some answers for your brand. It'll blow your mind how fast and how easy it is.
And how accurate. Yeah.
And it's a little. I've had people accuse me of spying on them and everything else. We don't spy on you. We don't scrape your website. We don't know. We have no idea who you are when you're taking this test. You could be a brain surgeon or the guy who cleans my pool. I mean, and we don't know.
Yeah.
And we wanted it that way on purpose. We don't want no outside influence in this test. The test has to be completely unbiased while you're taking it. And so do you. I mean, to the greatest degree possible. We're not trying to lead you into any particular answers. You can say true or false to anything you want.
No, it's a powerful tool. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. In the future.
I was going to say in the future, we just brought out a product that a lot of people are not aware of. It's called ProPack. Now, this is an expensive product. Most of our products are in the hundreds of dollar range or even less. And the new product is $5,000. And so people are like, oh my God, what's that? Well, that's for pro agencies. If you consider yourself a pro agency and you know who you are, if you resonate with that term, then you might want to reach out to us about ProPack, which gives you all of the IP of our human algorithm genome, all of the answers, all of the branding solutions, strategies, tactics, formulas, words, phrases, metaphors, colors, upsells, win-back campaigns, even the gifts you should be buying your customer if you buy them a gift, for all possible products and services. If you're a member of ProPack, your agency has access to that. Literally makes the job of ad creation and branding, marketing a breeze, because the answers are already in there. All you have to do is put your own creative flair to it and sit back and watch the client be impressed with you. So that's a new product that we can only talk to, obviously qualified agencies about. We're happy to do that. In the meantime, just keep taking yes test, folks, and tell every business in America. But you know why? Because every business that I meet online, the owner is working his or her butt off, right? Nobody's going under because they're just so lazy, or they have horrible employees, or the government's out to get them, or all these things we hear about. You know why they go out of business? Because they failed to craft a brand heard above the noise.
Right.
The noise being everybody else. And we show you how to get above that, to be seen, to be remembered is one of the best attributes of any brand. If you can't make a sale today, at least remember who I am, right?
Yeah.
Take the test, folks. Tell everybody that's in business to take it. You don't have to buy any products from us. We're not going to show up at your door with a sales kit. Just take it and learn what really works on human beings when it's time to persuade them to buy products and services. It will blow your mind, and I'll stop talking there.
All right. Well, Brian, everything you said, I agree with, and I appreciate the emotional evangelizing and the fundamental sound marketing. We'll put contact information for you in the show notes, and I truly appreciate your time today, and thanks for sharing with everybody about what you guys are up to, and best of luck.
Emmanuel, it's an honor, buddy, to be on your show and to know you as I do now. Thank you very much. I'm humbled to be here on your show, and I hope I did a decent job. And
you did great. It's awesome, and I love the work that you're doing. So thank you, and have a good night.
As you as well.
Okay, cheers.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.